SJ Talks from Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. Um, they have canceled Cynthia G. I guess they have canceled Cynthia G's channel. A lot of YouTubers are coming on here sounding off about when I typed in her name to pull up her channel, um, some other videos popped up and her channel didn't pop up. So Um, I guess they took her channel away. I guess they took it away. Uh, because they claim it's some white woman got her off of YouTube. It wasn't. If you didn't get a chance to check out my other video, I said did the red pill. It's titled "Did the red pill uh shut Cynthia G down?" I'm gonna link that video up to this one. They um they say it's. I seen a video the other day where they said that it was a white woman that shut Cynthia G down. I'm not sure about that. Sure, did I click on that video? I'm not sure if I clicked on it or not, but yeah, I don't know. Um, Maybe could have been. But I think what did Cynthia G in is her saying I guess she violated uh YouTube's guidelines on and you know what, as content creators, we really, all of us, all content creators, every last content creator on here, including myself, really need to go over and really read through those community guidelines. I'm guilty. I am guilty. I have not done it. I have not went over and really sit down and taken the time to really read through all those community guidelines to get a firm understanding of what is allowed and what's not. So that's something that I probably need to take the time and do. Um, the all content creators here on YouTube need to actually take the time to actually read through those community guidelines because they keep changing them. They change them. YouTube changes the community guidelines. YouTube changes the community guidelines. They changed them, and I think they had something in there worded. Uh, you can't. I don't know. Something about encouraging people to harm others or something like that. It's something to that effect. But whether you think it applies half of them or some of them applies to you or not, every content creator should probably read through those. And I'm going to sit down and take the time to read through them myself one day so I can get a firm understanding of what's allowed and what's not. Um, because I guess she didn't have a firm understanding of what was allowed and what wasn't. But her telling black women to not birth black males is probably what did her in. It's probably what did her. I talked about some of the things that Cynthia G wasn't doing. She wasn't balancing. I mean, she wasn't balancing out her content. I mean, if you talk about issues with any demographic, whether it be black males, black females, white supremacy, or anything like that, you need to be very. We have to be, especially black content creators. We have to be very strategic in how we do it. You have to be very strategic in how you do it, and you have to watch your wording. Um, you have to watch your wording. You have to watch what you say. And she was insinuating. A lot of times, did insinuate that she didn't want um that 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 black men shouldn't be here or something like that. As far as certain black men, it was a lot of things that a lot of things in her wording and stuff. her saying that black women shouldn't birth black males, promoting abortion and stuff like that. And so I think that's pretty much what did her in. And like I went on record and I've said time and time again on here that I was never on board with that. And so she yeah, I guess and I they consider it hate speech, and she was going into the name calling and because Cynthia G, um, a lot of she did have a lot of factual information on her channel, but then she went into name calling and stuff like that. And now that there's certain things that I'll talk about concerning black men, but one thing I will not do is name call. I don't bash because you don't have to do that. And so she would go into that name calling and stuff like that, and saying black women should stop birthing black males and constantly saying it over and over again. And I think that's what pretty much did her in. Um, but this is what's stripping me out. People are trying to compare her to Tommy Sotomayor, Mayor, saying that Tommy Sotomayor lost his channel. But let me tell you the difference between Cynthia G and Tommy Sotomayor. They gave Tommy Sotomayor, Mayor, way more chances than what they gave Cynthia G. Tommy Sotomayor was on here for so long. Cynthia G really, because she started talking about black white supremacy first, and then she went into talking about black males, and it really hasn't been that long compared to Tommy Sotomayor. She really wasn't really on here that long talking about black males compared to Tommy Sotomayor, because constantly coming on here bashing black women, and he wasn't just bashing. It was hate. It was going into hate speech. It was really going into hate speech, and matter of fact, a couple of his videos, I was thinking about striking myself, and I'm not an advocate of striking any YouTuber, but he kept they would shut a channel down, then he would pop up with another one, and they shut that down. They kept letting him come back on here, and they did that. They went back and forth with him on that so many times. Tommy Sotomayor was on here for years. He was on YouTube for years before they shut him down. They're trying to compare him, saying, well, they shut Tommy Sotomayor down. Well, Tommy Sotomayor was on here a whole lot longer than Cynthia G. They gave him so many more chances. They would shut a channel down, and he would pop up with another one. And that went on for a long time. And before that, he was on here for a very, very, very long time. He was on here for years. Tommy was on here for years spewing that hatred and stuff. And he was saying some terrible things about black women. He was saying and yes, he was talking hate speech and all that, the whole 9 yards. Certain demographics of black women being unalived. He was saying all that. He was promoting all that. And what I don't understand is why they still got him on here. Why they still got the angry man on here. This is what I don't understand. See, they need to do away. If you're gonna get rid of Cynthia G, okay, you need to go through some of these other channels where they're consistently bashing black women, and they're saying hateful things about black women and all this kind of stuff, because they got YouTube has to remember the black femicide rate is on 10. And then certain key words that you say that they're saying, you may not look at it, see it as hate speech, but then those guys are watching these channels. They're watching these channels, and it may be certain key words that they say that may fuel them into committing a violent act towards a black woman. This is the reason why that's dangerous. And see, if the thing is, why are they singling Cynthia G out? Okay, You, she was doing hate speech. Okay, but what about some of these others that come on here and do and speak hateful about black women, and you still got them on here? What about them? Frankly, I think they should do away with the people, black people bashing each other, black men bashing black women, and I'm not talking about things that's happening in the black community. I'm not talking about having productive conversations about what's going on in the black community between black men and women. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what Angry Man does, what Tommy Sotomayor did, what Cynthia G was doing. Okay, well, y'all need to have that same energy on some of these other people. I don't know all of them, but I know that there's others on here that are coming on here bashing black women. And to somebody that has hatred towards black women and they're watching these channels, if these guys say certain key words, it may encourage them to go and commit a violent act towards a black woman based on some of the things that this guy is saying. This is the reason why they need to I think they need to go down the line and get rid of some of these other channels. Because if you're going to get rid of Cynthia G, then you need to go through and get through some of these others. Like you did Tommy Sotomayor, whatever his name is. He was on here for years and trying to compare him and Cynthia G. They let him go on for years. They let him go on for years. That Cynthia G really, when she started talking about black men, it really hasn't been that long, because she was doing white supremacy, talking about white supremacy first, and then she as far as when she started talking about black men, she really wasn't on here that long. She really wasn't, not compared to Tommy Sotomayor. She wasn't. They let him stay on here for years. I know because I did videos talking about him, and some of those videos are dating way back. I did some videos talking about some of the things that he was saying. And those videos date way back. Don't ask me to put the links because I don't. I got 1,700 videos on here. That'd be some serious searching. I have no idea where they're at, but they're some of them I've done quite a long time ago. Quite a long time ago. Tommy Sotomayor was on here for years doing that stuff, and they would shut a channel down, and he would pop up with another one. They shut that down. He pop up with another one. He just kept coming back. He just kept coming back until they finally shut him down for good. Until they finally shut him down for good. And so why don't they have that energy for some of these other people? Because he needs, as far as I'm concerned, Angry Man needs to be shut down too. If you're going to shut down Cynthia G, then you need to shut him down too. Because you say, oh, he's not speaking. Well, that whatever, that's relative. Because if you're advocacy and these black men, these red pill, they talked about Cynthia G and go on and on about Cynthia G, but then they'll listen to this guy or they'll listen to this guy. Oh, he's still out there. I ain't gonna say where he's at, but he's still out there. He just ain't on YouTube. He's still out there. You listen to this guy, and you listen to this guy, but then you turn around and complain about Cynthia G. And you listen to some of the other ones that they have on here that's bashing black women. Because I know that there's a lot others. Why don't they have that same energy? Because the bottom line is black people need to stop bashing each other. We're not gonna play this one-sided game where it's okay for black men to bash black women but it's not okay for black women to bash black men. And now that they're saying that that somebody said that they needed to get Prince Sella, it's a YouTuber by the name of Prince Sella. She's her channel is called High Powered Podcast. But I watched her content, and I don't see where she's bashing men on there. I don't honestly don't see where she she has pretty good content, but she doesn't bash she doesn't bash men per se. I mean, I wouldn't say she's I don't I wouldn't say she bashes. I wouldn't say that she bashes. I mean, she talk about men, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that she bashes. That she is hate. She does hate speech. I wouldn't go that far with it. But see, that's what I'm saying. See, these guys want the black women on here. See, black men only like, and I did a video talking about that. They only like the red pill, only like accountability when it pertains to black women. They like truth and accountability when it pertains to black women. But when it comes to them, when a black woman is speaking some truths about what's going on with a certain different demographics of black men, not all black men, but certain ones, and they know who they are. And when black women address that, then all of a sudden it's a problem, because when I've done certain videos addressing certain issues with a certain demographic of black men, then I got ugly comments in my comment section, and I don't even bash. I just state the facts. But the red pill, they only like truth and accountability when it pertains to black women. But when we call them out on their stuff, they don't want to hear it. They want you shut down. They don't want to hear it. But I say black people need to stop bashing each other. I say that if we do need to talk about what's going on in the black community between black men and black women. Those we do need to have these conversations, but they need to be productive conversations, and they should not include bashing, name calling, you know, saying certain ones need to be eliminated and all this kind of stuff. We should be having productive conversations about the issues that's going on in our community, and we shouldn't be bashing one another. Black men shouldn't be bashing black women, and black women shouldn't be bashing black men, because we're not going to solve any problems that way. We should be talking about solutions, and those are the types of, now it's this channel net by the name of um oh shoot, I was just watching it this morning. Um, these brothers, YouTube, for some reason, YouTube, they automatically take me to this channel. It's very intelligent black men, very intelligent brothers, and they're having productive conversations. Uh, I'll see if I can find it on here. I can't. I'm drawing a blank. I was listening to it this morning. I listen to it. YouTube automatically. I have it on YouTube when I go to sleep a lot of times, and um, YouTube automatically takes me to it for some reason. I said it must be something I need to hear on here, because YouTube automatically um takes me um to that channel every night. Um, I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's intelligent brothers coming together It's intelligent brothers coming together, and they're having productive conversations. They're they're having productive conversations, and they're talking about solutions. They're talking about Earn Your Leisure. That's the name of it. I was trying to find it. It's called Earn Your Leisure. And for some reason, like at night, because I have it on YouTube when I go to sleep, YouTube automatically takes me. When I wake up, it's on there automatically. And they're very intelligent brothers. Earn Your Leisure. That's what it's called. And they're very intelligent brothers, very smart brothers, and they're having productive conversations. They're talking about money, and they're talking about and if they do talk about issues with black women, they're doing it in a productive way. If they do talk about issues with black men, they're doing it productively. They're having productive conversations. I highly recommend black people that watch YouTube, you guys. I highly recommend you go and check it out. It's called Earn Your Leisure. And YouTube automatically takes me to this channel. And then every morning when I wake up, I'm finding myself really, really tuning in to what these brothers is talking about. And they're having productive conversations. They're not on there bashing, they're not name calling, they're not bashing, but they're having some productive conversations that could really benefit. They talk about nutrition, they talk about all kinds of things, investing, what we can do to build up our um how we can get our money up, all kind of stuff, manhood. They talk about, the brothers are having productive conversations on this channel. It's a very, very, I watch some educational stuff on here, and it's very, very educational. Now see, that's positivity. That's positivity. And so black people, yes, we do need to have these conversations, but it should be positive, and talking about solutions. And that solution does not include unaliving, okay? But we should be talking about it doesn't include unaliving anybody, but just having productive, positive conversations. That's what we need to be doing on here, not coming on here bashing one another, name calling. Black men constantly bashing black women and calling them names, and never saying anything positive, and always got something negative to say, and can point out 50 million things that we're doing wrong, but can never point out anything we're doing right. That's not productive. That's not productive. You're always talking negative, but you're not talking about anything productive. So I'm not an advocate for any of those channels being on here, to be honest, because where as far as black women and black men, because if they're not productive, if they're just bashing, if they're always talking about what black women are certain, and then 9 times out of 10 they're only talking about a certain demographic of black women. They're not talking about all black women. They're talking about a certain demographic of black women that do certain things. They're not talking about all black women, because all black women ain't like that. If you're talking about black men, okay, you're talking about a certain demographic, but you're not talking about all. But if you're just constantly talking about the the problems, and your name calling, but you're not talking about solutions. Then what good are you? I mean, what good are you? You're not productive. You're not having any productive conversation. And that channel that I just told you guys about, Earn Your Leisure, they have productive conversation and positive conversations about the black community, what we can do to improve ourselves as a community. And There's a lot of positive black male content creators on here on RC Blake's is another one. There's a lot of positive black male content creators on YouTube. I watch them all the time. I watch them all the time. And they're talking about, they don't just state the problem, but they talk about solutions. And they're not coming on bashing black women. Like RC Blake's, he's like a minister, so he really is, he's a married man and everything. And he really, really knows how to minister to black women effectively. He really knows how to minister to black women effectively, and he does it, and he speaks the truth, but he doesn't bash. He talks about solutions. He talk about what black women can do to be better. He gives tips from a man's perspective, on what black women can do to be better, where she could be a better woman, and how she can move differently out here and stuff like that. How she can increase her self-esteem and feel better about herself and learn her worth. That's what I'm talking about. And he uses Bible scripture. He uses Bible scripture. He does it spiritually. That's what I'm talking about. Some positivity. Boyce Watkins is another one that's positive. He's always talking about how black people, we can get up on our money, how we can how we can start building something. But all people want to do is bash him and put him down. You know, they want to bash him and put him down. They'd rather listen to this guy. You know, they want to constantly bash him and put him down. Talk about his wife, call him a simp. But the man, and some other stuff that they said about him. But the man be having good, positive, productive conversations. He tries to educate people on how investments and all kinds of stuff that he talks about. And the brother is extremely woke. Umar Johnson is another one. Although there's some things that he says that I don't agree with, but you know, he has some pretty good, productive conversations. Mostly, I would say, if I could put a percentage of it on it, I would say 90% of what he says I agree with, Brother Umar. And I'll come on here and sometimes talk about, I just did a video recently, what I don't agree with him, you know. But mostly what he says is on point. I love his passion for the black community. I don't like it how he gets on his high horse and thinks that he should be the only one on YouTube and that no other black people should be on here. I don't like that, because we do need to have these conversations, but we need to do so in a productive way. We need to do them in a productive way, without the insults, without putting down one another, because you don't see no other race of people on here doing that. You don't see no other race of people on here doing that. You don't see no other race of people coming on here constantly bashing their race of people. I don't see it. Now I watch YouTube all the time and I don't see it. I only see black people doing that mess. I don't see white people doing it. I don't see Hispanics doing it. I don't see Mexicans doing it. I don't see no other race of people doing it. I only see black people doing it. So, we need to talk about, what we can do to be better. I don't have a problem. Like I said, I mentioned R.C. Blake's. He addresses black women all the time. And he speaks the truth. I don't have a problem with black men talking about the issues with black women. But he does it in a positive and productive way without bashing. It's kind of like constructive criticism. That's what it is. It's constructive criticism. And it's It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong. I don't have a problem with him. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He cuts right to the chase with black women. But he also talks about solutions. He's positive. And that's what I'm talking about. And there's some other ones on here too. I can't think of their names right off the top of my head, but there's some other ones that I've watched on here too. Same way. Shoe make way. I mentioned him the other day in one of my videos. He's another positive black male content creator, and he'll talk about issues with black women, but he doesn't bash. He doesn't. I have no problem with him. Now I don't have a problem with him at all. And he also will take you to the scriptures. Us black women, we need that construction. But black men need that construction too. We're not the only ones that need it. You think we the only ones that need it? Black men need some construction too. Y'all need some constructive criticism as well. Case in point, more black men need to think about getting married, and then first of all, getting financially stable, getting married, and then when you have your families, be there to father your children, and be a husband, and a loving husband and a father, and stay in your children's life and father your children. More black men need to be doing that. That's constructive. That's an example of constructive criticism. More black women need to, same with black women, more black women need to get married, get financially stable, find a suitable or husband, or wait for a suitable husband, then start your family. That way you have a stable father for your children. So that's constructive criticism, because if more of our people would do that, then we're going to have a lot less. Some of the things that's going on in the black community will be at a minimum. We'll cut down a lot of the things that's happening in the communities if black men would take more of an active role, and even if they're not with the mother, and being in their children's lives. If more black men would do that, that would cut down a lot of the things that's happening in our communities. Now that's construction. That's constructive criticism. Okay. And so it's nothing wrong with stating those issues and stating those problems, because those are some of the things that's going on in our community. There's a lot of black men that need to learn anger management. They need to learn to get in better control of their emotions, because there's a lot of black men out here that are unaliving black women. We need to promote therapy more in the black community. Mental health, and I know that the mental health resources in the black community is not good, and I get it. But we also have a stigma in the black community that where our people don't believe in getting mental health addressed, mental health issues addressed. And so that's something that needs to be promoted more in our community. Okay. Anger management, which is a part of what goes under the umbrella of mental health. Learning how to manage their anger. Because I know that there's a lot of black men that are angry. And, white supremacy, you know, being one of them. Frustration. Maybe they didn't have a father. I know that there's a lot of reasons why black men are angry, but you can't go taking it out on the children. You can't go taking it out on women. I know you guys, a lot of you guys are angry, and I get it. But you can't go taking it out on your women. You can't go taking it out on your children. So black men need to do better in that regard. And start walking out on the children, start playing an active role. um you know find, have children by the woman that you want to marry, the woman you want to be with, instead of take more responsibility of your reproductive, you know Abstinence, abstaining till marriage. If you don't abstain, do a better job of protecting yourself, taking responsibility for your own body. For black men and black women, that goes for black men and black women. I'm going to say abstinence right off the top because that's what God says we're supposed to do. But if you don't abstain, you need to be protecting yourself, black men and black women. That is constructive. So we can stop having all these children outside of marriage and having all these broken homes because that's part of the reason why there's these problems in the black community. It is not just black women's fault, but it's black men's fault as well because we're not being obedient. We're walking in disobedience. And we're not doing what God told us to do. God told us to wait till marriage. That's what He told us to do. Okay, before we start creating families, but we're being disobedient to God and we're doing things outside of anytime you step outside of the will of God, there's going to be problems. And we're going outside. I'm sorry that this video is long, but we're going outside the will of God. And anytime we're going outside the will of God, there's going to be problems. So we're being disobedient. We're not doing things God's way. And when you don't do things, and I say we, I'm talking about me too, and every black men and women on the woman on the planet. When we do not do things God's way, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have problems every time. So we gotta start doing things God's way. We black men and black women, we both should be better. We both should do better so our children can have a better chance. So our children can have a better chance of growing up more stable. They can know how to navigate through this racist country of ours. But it's our responsibility to teach them the history. It's our responsibility to teach them, to show them, to turn them in the right direction, to lead by example through how we move, show them through how we move how they supposed to move. And that's what we need to be doing as black men and black women, not pointing a finger at each other and bashing each other and bad mouthing each other. What's that gonna do? What's that gonna do? What kind of problems is that gonna solve? Men like this guy constantly coming on YouTube day in and day out, bashing black women, earning money off of bashing black women. But that's it. Why aren't these men out building? Why aren't they out building? Why aren't they out doing something for the community? Why aren't they out helping the fatherless boys out here in the community? Why aren't they doing something productive instead of breaking down the community? Because that's when you're doing that, when you're coming on social media doing that, you're breaking down the community even more. You're not benefiting. You're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. And we, as black people, content creators, we need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I talk about solutions. I try to talk about solutions on my channel. I don't just state the problem. I try to talk about solutions on what we can do as black people to be better. And I'm going to be talking about those kind of things more, of what we can do to be better as black men and women. And I'm always talking about how we need to unify and we need to have more love amongst each other. But nobody don't never pay no attention to me when I do those videos. But if I doing a video talking about a specific issue with black men, then or black women, the one with black women, they get a lot of views. The black men are blowing up them videos. But when I talk about solutions and talk about what black people can do to be better and talk about how black people need to have more love amongst each other, quit hating on each other and this and that and the other, when I do those types of videos where I'm addressing the whole black community, because they're on my channel, you guys don't pay that no attention. Y'all don't pay that no attention. My positive content. Well, all of it is positive, as far as I'm concerned. But when I'm talking about what black people can do to be better, y'all don't pay that no attention. It's too many black people that like to feed into that negativity. And so, as far as like, hey, don't just single Cynthia G out. They need to don't none no black people need to be on here bashing. They got a whole lot more others on here, and they don't need to be sexist and just be getting rid of Cynthia and not getting rid of some of these males on here that's doing the same doggone thing. Okay, I'm sorry this video's too long. A little bit might be too long. But hit me up in that comment section, like, subscribe, and share. Um, and hit that notification bell so when I do a video, you will be notified. Until the next video, you guys be blessed.